bunker. Join Nikki, Rosella, Robert, Kayla, and Cole Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as we traverse the portals of the universe. Discover the secrets of the cryptids. Uncover the truth of conspiracy. And explore the hauntings of our world. And once again, welcome to the S4 Paranormal Bunker.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another amazing episode of the S4 Paranormal Bunker. Tonight we have Nikki Jacobs with us. Rosella is under the weather still. I don't know what they're doing with medicine in Ohio, but that shit don't work for him. So, and then Robert is on a little vacation trip.
Yep,
So,
he's on a trip right now.
In a little rocket ship going to...
Last I actually heard from him, he had went through 4 bags of sapphire, so can't wait to actually see what he actually has out of that. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep, Robert
that was
makes
pretty
some
cool.
of the coolest stuff.
Friends,
Yeah, he really does.
How you doing tonight, Nikki?
That's a loaded question right now, Cole.
I know it is. I actually
I've
saw a
had-
post from you this morning.
I've had tech stuff that I am so fed up with tech right now I could scream.
Friend.
Oh, what is this?
Bad drugs?
Speaking of tech stuff, I just had something call up for the bunker, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Is it that far
I don't dare
behind?
click on it.
Yeah.
I don't dare click on it. If I click on it, I'm afraid what's going to happen here, and I want to keep us going tonight.
Right.
It has been such an issue. Anyway, yeah, and then I had a bunch of information that happened this afternoon, and I'm like, oh my god. So I'm just kind of like mind-boggled tonight. But I'm here. Finally.
Right?
Friend.
Hey, at least I'm here.
Absolutely.
God. What a
Yeah,
day.
so like it has been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, my fucking prime minister gets spanked on TV. God damn it. For him. By a big
dear.
orange asshole. And then,
The Pope wasn't elected.
well, okay. I don't blame them for that. This is a really hard decision
That's true.
that, in my mind, should take the maximum amount of time they have. Unless there's a clear-cut choice like Jesus came back. Well, then, yeah, give him the spot. But
Well, the longest that it actually took for a Pope to...
11 days.
No, I believe it was 6 months. Back in 1482.
Oh, in modern times?
In modern time.
It's been 11 days.
Yeah.
Was the longest.
And that's because back then they all did it by mail.
Yeah, that's true.
Run,
They
Silver!
only did one
Away!
vote. It just took 6 months to get them all in.
That's true.
But no, I wish the Conclave all the best, and I hope everything goes well there.
Mm-hmm. I was watching it this morning when they were sealing the doors and stuff.
Yeah, I watched when the smoke came out.
Wow, that's such an interesting video you watched,
I know.
friend.
It was
You're
live.
just staring at a chimney watching smoke come out of it. Woo! Oh,
Yeah.
no, Pope.
Did you watch that one where the paint dried?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Friend. So tonight, John has questions.
Yes.
I heard. What kind of questions?
Hi, little Cam.
Hey, how's it going?
Friend.
Um,
And I can't see the. Okay, let's see if I can get onto the S4 Bunker chat via
Oh
YouTube.
no! It's gonna kick you again. I don't
Oh,
like
God.
this.
No, we're doing it by phone. I'm looking by phone.
All right.
yeah.
Well,
That I can do. I don't dare do it on this.
we've actually been having issues for the last couple weeks. I just haven't said anything to anyone. But our stream health on YouTube hasn't been the greatest. It actually keeps dropping really hard. Because my computer doesn't have a dedicated LAN. It runs off Wi-Fi only.
It's annoying.
So next week, that will be fixed. Because on Friday, I have a dongle coming that's going to fix that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Really big
You have
dongle?
a fucking dongle
Yeah.
coming?
8 inches long.
We got an 8-inch dongle coming in the mail.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Does it come in discreet packaging?
No. Open. For everyone to see.
To be impressed how big the dongle is.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Johnny, you got questions?
Yeah, I got many questions for you, Nikki, actually. Because,
Go for it. Hit me.
okay, so me and this friend were talking about the astral world, and they brought up councils. Like, I think you know the Heavenly Council, correct?
Yeah.
And I have questions about another council that it's known as the Undead Council or something like that. It deals with dead people and all that weird realm. And I'm just one of my first questions is what is like the difference between the different councils?
Oh.
Yeah. It's a big
Oh
question.
boy. It's a gigantic question.
Yep.
One that definitely.
Could probably be its own show.
Yeah, actually, it really could, but.
one of them has their own
okay.
show.
What?
One of them has their own show.
Yes.
The Undead Council is run by Rick and Carl.
Okay.
And if no one gets that joke, Nikki gets it. Nikki gets it.
But
I think it's because of the way I said Carl.
Oh, God, and I'm not even going to explain that. Anyway.
yeah, but I'm wondering.
Holy crap, Cole.
I'm just wondering what the Undead Council is and what is their main purpose.
Okay, I don't know them as those from those names. Quite honestly, I don't know the titles of the councils, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one that you referred to as the Undead Council, it's not really a council. It sort of is, but it's not really at the same time. It's a group of hierarchies that come together that it's like they oversee. It's not the right way to put it. Okay, please forgive me for the way I'm wording this because this is probably a piss poor description.
Okay.
I just don't know how else to describe it. As I understand it, they oversee, well, they don't oversee death, but they're part of, okay, who I call death, a lot of other people call the Grim Reaper, or the Reaper. He has people under him that I am aware of. They are not a large council, but they do oversee some aspects. That's how I know it. Everything that they do, I do not have a remote clue. I can make assumptions on what they do, okay? Now I know that, how do I say this? That's a really good question. What I know is that they do some things, but they don't catch everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the grand master of it, oh my god, I was just about to reference a Happy Days comment. Holy crap! I was just gonna say the grand poobah. Holy crap! Sorry. the, the the leader is basically Death himself. I don't know him by any other name.
Yeah.
I mean, other than, the Grim Reaper. People call him the Grim Reaper. I call him Death.
Yeah.
Because he is literally... When
Now,
I've
are we
asked
talking
to
like
see...
the horseman death?
No.
Or
No.
totally
That's
different?
completely different.
Yeah,
That
okay.
is that's one of the four horsemen of the
Yeah,
apocalypse.
Well, Death
Now,
is
I have seen them, and I have talked to them. Very different subject.
Okay.
But regarding Death himself, when I have asked or have actually had to demand that he show up because of a very serious situation that I knew about, or that became aware of because a spirit came to me and said, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is not okay. This person is not supposed to die right now." And I went, "Oh my God." And I literally demanded that he show up, and Death showed up, and he showed up with his book. And it's like, oh, he really did show up, and he was pissed. I've seen the man very happy and actually laugh. It's extremely disturbing, but funny as shit. And I've also seen him really pissed off. And I would rather see him laughing than really pissed off, because he gets shit done immediately. And his lower downs, I mean, they'll cower. The people under his command, you piss him off, and this situation that I became aware of because of another spirit came to me, he was rip-roaring pissed, and he took care of it. I mean, they jumped. They basically, how high, and he went this high, and this is what you're going to do, and you're going to do it this way, and he went down a list. So he is
in charge.
in my opinion, he is in charge.
Okay.
God is in charge of him, but he's in charge
Of the undead.
of the undead, yeah.
That part.
Or of those that are about to die in their time.
Okay.
And those that are not supposed to die in their time, but something has I don't know how else to say this. Something really wrong has been missed by one of his underlings. Wow. Don't ever piss him off. So that is the only council that I am aware of. It's a form. I don't know if I would call them angels under him. I don't know what to call them. I know that they are a group of hierarchy beings under his command. And that's how I know them as. I know that there's a group of them, and each one of them have their own underlings. And that's not exactly the right word, underling, but I don't know what else to call them. They're all different levels of hierarchies in different levels, different. He's got a certain group directly under him. How do I say this? How do I explain this? So you've got him.
Yep.
Then you've got a group under him, and each one of those hierarchies has a group under them. Yeah. So it's like a trickle-down effect.
Yeah.
And who's above him is God. And believe me, you don't want to piss God off either.
Yeah, and the way I found out about this is I was talking to one of my friends, and they are a what is it called? Well, what you are, Nikki?
Psychic medium?
Because they see undead, and they see spirits, and they see demons and angels, and actually they have a demon watching over them because they're in this council and is like one of the lower members but works for them. And the way...
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Is that a true demon? Now, this is a male or a female? I'm assuming a male.
It's male. It's... What are they called? It's...
Okay, so you've got a male psychic who is about 18 to 21?
No. They are a psychic. Their gender...
That's fine.
They
That's
don't really
fine.
want me telling people.
That's fine. You don't have to.
But
We're on air. That's totally
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, the demon that is watching over them, they are the opposite of a succubus.
Incubus.
Incubus. That is watching over them because they have... In their previous life, they worked for this council heavily. And in this one, because of all the stuff they did, because they did break off, it is watching over them to make sure they don't do it again.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay.
I have a dear friend of mine who, in one of their lifetimes, did some things. This person and I were in a completely separate lifetime together, and we were in a group of 12, and we were witches. It was during a very specific time in American history.
Okay.
And we put one of the biggest demons in the ground, who about 4 or 5 years ago escaped because of some idiotic... I gotta be nice. I don't have to be, I'm trying to choose to be. Because of an idiotic, psychotic... Yeah, that's how I'm gonna call her. Psychotic bitch.
Oh, well,
Being
super nice.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
that's as
Wow.
nice as I can be. She deliberately released him,
Oh, okay.
and it takes 12 to 13 witches of very, very specific kind of power to plant him, shall we say. My point is that there are many different levels, and because of what we did in this group, and it's interesting because a lot of these people have come back together unexpectedly knowing each other in this lifetime. There's 10 of us that know each other now.
Hey, I've noticed that happens through lifetimes. Like,
Yes.
you find your, soul circle of people, and they're
Yeah.
different proximities to you from
Yep.
lifetime to lifetime, but you always seem to find that
Yep.
soul circle of people.
Yeah.
Yep. So my point is that in this lifetime, my dear friend had a specific kind of angel. I'm not going to say what kind of angel, but a specific kind of angel being one of her, trying to put this very carefully. She was a guardian of my friend up until a certain time in my friend's life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because she had done certain things in a previous lifetime. So I understand what you're talking about, John.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to be I would be asking some very serious questions regarding, okay, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, got it. Okay. If it's a true demon,
Okay.
or one of the lower downs, a true demon
Well, I know its name.
is... You don't speak a demon's name, dear boy.
Okay.
Ever.
That's like
That
like
is
bad.
taboo.
demonology 101, bro. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, but Jesus, John.
I don't know. I don't know this stuff as well as other people do, but the person did tell me what the name of the demon that is watching them.
Okay, that's creepy in itself. Like,
I don't.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Do they have control over this person's soul?
No, not at all. It's more like this demon works for the council and is just babysitting to make sure that the person doesn't do anything, like trying to break away from the council.
Then it's highly likely that this is not a demon.
Yeah.
Based on what, even though you called it an incubus, that is not a demon per se.
Yeah. I don't.
It's in a different category altogether of paranormal.
Yeah.
That said, yeah, you can have situations like what was described to you.
So it's
To
more
where-
like a Shinigami.
Okay. Because, like,
I don't know what that is.
a Shimigami is, in Japanese culture, a god of death.
No,
No?
it's not really a god of death.
It's more like a
A
helper.
Shinigami
it's
is
a
more
minion
like
of death.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a what of death?
Minion.
it's a
Minion.
minion of death. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like a lower level entity that has
Yeah,
certain powers
got it.
that were granted to them.
I got it because I can't say that.
It's literally
Okay,
what you were
so
talking
I've
about
worked-
with the council.
The lower downs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the helpers.
Yeah.
That's what this would be in.
Yeah.
In Japanese culture. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are many levels. There are a lot. The amount is mind-boggling when you're dealing with the hierarchies. I'm going to tell you something. I had every major hierarchy. I was working with a gentleman a number of years ago, and we had a situation that we were dealing with somebody else. And the gentleman that I was working with, energy worker, psychic to some degree, well, to a lot of degrees, and actually requested that I bring in all of the hierarchies in my home.
Oh, okay.
And it literally was wall to wall. I was having problems breathing because the energy was so tight in my home. And we're talking all the major high, every single one of the highest of the high. We're not talking angels. We are talking way higher than them. And my entire, this was at the other apartment, my entire apartment was filled wall to wall and brimming outside of the walls. Matter of fact, they went up into the other apartments and out in, it's just basically they surrounded the building. There were so many of them. And when they left each one of them, the only way I can describe it is they left through a portal.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them, when the portal opened, there was a pop, and when the portal closed, when they walked through it, there was a pop. I thought I was going to lose my mind because my ears, my whole, every cell in my body felt and heard each one of them leaving. I felt them coming in, but they didn't enter via a portal. When they left via what I can only classify as a portal, and it was, oh my God. I ended up, it took me almost 2 weeks to recover from that. And for a long time, I was higher than a psychic kite because it was one of the biggest things that besides the energy that I had expelled on in March of 2019, this was the second biggest round of energy that I had ever experienced, and it was intense. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you can have something like what you're describing happen.
Yeah. Because
But the other side of this is you've got to be extremely careful.
yeah.
Um, because this can get into an extremely dangerous situation.
I know. Because this person was just telling me about this, and I was asking questions, and they said they could not answer it because this demon or whatever it is said that do not tell them anything more than they already know. And that...
Do not tell you any more than you already know?
Yes.
Or do not tell me?
Do not tell me.
Got it.
So I was just gonna ask you these questions because they're
Yeah,
lower,
go for it.
They're lower on the...
They're lower on the totem pole, so to speak.
Yeah, because they're like under stuff, but they're not so low that they aren't. You're not talking.
If you're dealing with a true incubus, it's really surprising to me that an incubus would be at that level of watching.
Yeah.
An incubus usually uses the body. Yes, incubus and succubus usually use a human body for their own purposes.
I have also talked to certain people that have had the same type of thing that you're talking about, John.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like an incubus that's trying to work its way back up.
Yeah, that's...
because they ended up getting shunned in some way. Yeah, so they got given like a remedial task in order to work their way back up the hierarchy of things.
Yes, that is exactly what is happening.
Yes.
Okay. It's given the task to look over this person to work its way back up.
Well, that's what this other being with my friend was doing.
Yeah, and... Well, what they said that their job was basically helping spirits into the afterlife and banishing very low level demons back.
Okay, your friend's job?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So not the incubus's job, but your friend's job in this lifetime.
Yes, and that was their job in the previous lifetime.
Over lost spirits.
Yeah, and the reason why they're doing this is because they made a very big mistake with dealing with that area and in the past.
In a previous lifetime.
So they're atoning for it in this one.
Okay. That actually makes sense, kinda.
Been there.
Yeah.
When I was doing necromancy back in 2 lifetimes, I had years worth of reincarnation to where I was making up for it.
Yeah.
Big time. Big time. It took a long time.
Makeup reincarnations right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically, what they said they can do is they can talk. They see and talk to spirits, and they talk to other lower level
entities.
And they are also forced to go to meetings and other stuff in their dreams.
Okay.
In astral.
Yes. Because they cannot physically go to astral without being asleep. Is their thing.
Mm-hmm. I know folks that... Yep.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know more about their area of the paranormal world, because what I already know is more on the angelic side. So I want to know a little bit more on the other.
Okay. So what I don't talk about very often is that I have worked with both sides.
Yeah.
I don't talk about it very often, but and there's a reason I don't talk about it, usually because people seriously freak the heck out about it. Trying not to use F-bombs, but it might pop out periodically tonight, just an FYI, especially with the day I've had.
Okay.
So I apologize ahead of time. That's number one. Number two, because I've dealt with, and that's why I have talked about demon dogs, because the hierarchy individual that owns the demon, and I can only classify them as demon dogs because they're from that specific area. How else do you say that? What else do you, I mean, they're owned by a very specific hierarchy. I will never publicly state the name. There's only two individuals that know me that actually know who they are owned by, and why I'm even allowed by this hierarchy to use their dogs. And this specific hierarchy, in a lot of ways, is doing what your friend is doing. Even though he's a hierarchy, and a very, very specific hierarchy, how do I say this? He is essentially, in a lot of ways, atoning, but he's got a lot of beings, B-E-I-N-G-S, underneath him, that he is in control over. And I haven't made contact with him in a while. I should probably do that at some point. But
this person isn't like at that level. It's because what they've told me is that they can see spirits, and that a few of them do follow them around. There is
a few of the spirits follow him around.
Yeah.
Follow your friend around.
Yes.
Yeah, that's normal. That's because they're... Go on.
Just stick around with them, and then this demon also pops in and out to make sure that when they are assigned
the incubus? The incubus is popping in and out? Okay.
Yeah, when they're assigned a task, they have to watch over to make sure they actually do it, and that they aren't messing up like they did previously. It's basically babysitting, is what they basically said it was.
That's a very human way to look at it.
Yeah. And I was just wondering, I just want to know more about that side of the paranormal world, and like...
That's loaded.
Yeah.
That's a real big loaded... How far... Okay, here's the thing. How far into that do you really want to go? Because knowing it can really get scary really fast.
Yeah, but the thing I kind of see with paranormal is I want to jump head into it.
Yeah, why?
Because I just want to know. I just want to know more.
Be careful what you...
Yeah, I know curiosity always kills the cat, but...
Yeah, you need to know what you're looking into.
Unless
you're looking...
it's Schrodinger's cat, and then quantums kill it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I just want to know more. That's honestly how it is with anything in the paranormal. Like, especially with astral. When I hear about it, I just want to learn and know more about it. And just... Because I've researched a bit on my own. But honestly, it's better to hear from a first hand from someone who actually knows about this stuff, like you.
Yeah, and deals with it.
Because then I could get some safety with that. Because I can get tips and all that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. By looking into it, you can draw things to you.
Yeah, I know.
You bring shit home, you are in so much trouble.
You won't see him.
That's...
Maybe not. Okay.
Dad might...
You may not see them, but you will feel them, and you may see them in behavior. trying to figure out how to say that. You may see that in behavior. That is not something you want to be bringing home. You, first of all, you need to be, okay, blah, blah. You need to look into protection methods first.
Okay.
You want to jump headlong into this, John, then you need to start researching protection methods first.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is, by just doing the research, jumping in feet first, it's like somebody jumping into a swimming pool not knowing how to swim. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that, especially with what you're talking about, this is the kind of stuff that can actually get you unalived because of who you know and how things are being done.
Yeah. But
so you're literally need to research, find methods of protection that work for you, because not everything in the protection worlds is going to work for every person. So you have to find something that works for you. And I know that's not what you're probably not going to want to hear right now.
Yeah.
But that is number one.
Yeah.
You want to learn this stuff? That's the first thing you need to learn.
Because I've already kind of looked into
and you need to be
protection.
You need to stand firm and strong in it and not wishy-washy. We are talking, this is your life.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm gonna be, no pun intended, dead on serious when it comes to this shit.
Yeah.
If you want to look into it the way I think that you want to look into it, what I'm picking up on, honey, get your ass into classes about protection. I mean, we are talking hardcore methods of protection, because the kind of stuff you're looking at is extremely dangerous. And the other side to that is the wannabes that are out there, that are all over this planet, more than a true demon. True demons are few and far between. They're very rare.
Yeah.
But they are out there. Okay? Before you or anybody delves in and starts looking and hunting for information, the first thing you need to do is research the ever-loving shit out of the word protection.
Okay.
And what that means to you. And then you have to start putting energy, your core energy. This is going to become a class, guys, so I apologize ahead of time. So then it comes down to your specific core guttural energy that comes directly from your core. And you use that. You also do a cleansing of yourself, which means a stripping of any of your chakras. It means clearing all of your chakras on a regular basis. You need to know what that energy feels like in your own body when you clear yourself or when you have somebody else clear you, because that really can affect your physical body. You'll feel it via the energy. So there's a lot of things you have to tune in your body. That takes a form of energy. Okay? You're not just dealing with if it had not have been for how do I say this?
So
trying to be very careful, because there's certain people I really don't want to bring about in my life again.
okay.
But if it had not have been, when I was in high school, if it had not have been for a couple of specific individuals, and one of them had family that worked with me. Actually, there were 4 people involved, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so the point is that they started teaching me hands-on. In less than a week, I got a crash course on protection, hardcore protection, the kind that I didn't even know I could do at the time. And it's almost to that point. That's my gut instinct with what you're talking about. It's like you're at a point to where you need a crash course, because the kind of stuff that your friend is dealing with is way beyond you.
Yes.
Way beyond you.
I've already kind of looked into protection, and the way I kind of found most of it is through medicinal herbs and mixing of stuff.
It's not just that.
Yeah, but that's the main one I found, and then the whole grounding with the energy you have, and making a shield or like a bubble around you. That is another way that I found. And then there's this one about putting a very strong like layer around your heart to stop stuff from getting in. That is another one that I saw.
So
it's individual for individual people though too. So the thing that you got to remember about grounding, shielding, protection stones, protection herbs is they're very specific to the person themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to find something that specifically works for you. So just because it says online, like for instance, it says black tourmaline, right? Like black tourmaline is everywhere. Yeah. And in a lot of protection circles, they swear by black tourmaline. However,
it doesn't work for everybody.
Like your father cannot have black tourmaline. Like it does not work for him in any way, shape, or form. So he has to use tiger's eye instead of the black tourmaline. So there are specific things that will not work for you on an individual basis. They will give you a grand scheme of all of the stuff that could potentially work, but you're going to have to really cue in on your own abilities and what works for you.
Like, I'm wondering how to actually figure out what works and what doesn't.
Well, it's a trial and error, to be perfectly honest.
That's honestly what I've been doing so far, because I've tried candles, I've tried incense, I've tried herbs, and then I've tried
candles.
Okay. Candles and incense are different.
That's a different ballgame.
That's a totally different.
And you're dealing with elemental. Fire is elemental. Candle isn't elemental because you're burning a wick on that candle, and fire is an elemental. So you're calling in elementals when you do that.
Yeah, the way
that's
the way I heard,
which is a different ballgame.
Honey, that's totally different. What we're talking about is okay. So grounding and shielding. Grounding and shielding is specific to each person, but it's basically done almost the same way for each person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay? So I would focus first off on making sure that you can ground and shield to the point where you feel it in your own way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Says the lady who doesn't do it.
What?
Says the lady who doesn't do it.
I can't.
But she's right.
That's besides the point. Yeah. That's besides the point. Mine is very different from a lot of people's, and I cannot ground or shield. But that is my own personal thing, and there's a blockage there that is my own personal thing. But I would focus on that first, and trying to make sure that you have that coverage before you go looking for other things.
Yeah, because the one route that I've mainly been going down is the Native American one.
Which is fine.
Because I feel like that I would in tune with that more, because it's part of my
ancestors.
And ancestors. So,
yeah, you'll have ancestors with you when you do that.
So I've been talking to some elders in this club I've been about how to make certain things and how to do certain things with other spirits and this candle type thing, an incense, and I've been talking with them on how to actually protect and do other stuff like healing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even started making a little book of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I've started,
Okay. Go ahead.
and I'm just wondering how to continue advancing in that area too.
Number one, me and you have to have a conversation after this.
Okay.
Because you also have to realize what is going to work for tribes in the Pacific Northwest.
Won't work for our tribe.
You're a plains
Your ancestors
native,
will
dude.
not connect with water.
You are not a coastal native.
So they would more connect with nature?
It's a very different
No,
ball game.
okay, honey, you're prairie people. You are not
Yeah.
coastal people.
And see, when I was in a lifetime as a Native American, in that lifetime, I was in Arizona. So, no water. I was desert.
So what would our people attune with?
I will get you to try. We're going to actually get you to join a group on Facebook so you can ask questions in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's directly with our tribe.
Okay. Because I'm already in the normal Facebook group, but that's mostly...
It's all events.
Yeah. Because I've been just talking to coastal natives and a few Alaskan natives.
Yeah. You're dealing with something different.
I mean, honestly, you can relate to certain parts of their traditions, and our ancestors, your ancestors, can relate to other parts of their traditions, but when it comes to full-fledged protection and stuff like that, you need to talk to people from your tribe in your area and be able to pull in that as part of your stuff instead of...
It's just I don't have a...
resource?
Well, you know, you could have asked.
Hi.
You don't think that we have resources?
How are you?
Like, honestly, just ask, fool.
Yeah, like, because I've been asking for recipes on certain, how to heal certain stuff and neat tricks like that.
Okay, but you got to understand
that's different.
That's totally different because that is based on the area that you are in. So actually, the stuff that they're telling you on healing and everything else is based on the plant life we have around here.
Yeah.
It's based on this area.
But
when it comes to actual protection of, I'm going to put it this way, it's basically your spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it, okay? That, you got to protect it in the right way.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Yeah, it's just I've been asking them all
and
around.
Every tribe is
stuff,
different.
on almost every subject around that. And
now, I have a lot of friends that are Lummi.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends that are Nooksack, but I also have a lot of friends that are Swinomish. Okay? From tribe to tribe, even ones that are that close with each other in proximity.
Mm-hmm.
It's
different.
They have completely different rituals and completely different things.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Because I've been talking to Snohomish natives and their rituals on burials and how to attune with your ancestors are different from the Alaskan natives that I've been talking to.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is very different from the Plains natives that I've been talking to.
And that's what I'm saying is that each tribe, even if their proximities are like right next to each other, have their own rituals and own rites that they follow.
Yeah.
Based off of their tribe itself. So when you're talking about your ancestors and ancestral rites, you need to talk to somebody from your actual tribe to understand what your tribe does for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll look more into that on my own time then. I'll be talking to you, Dad.
Okay.
About that.
Yeah.
Good.
Because
but, like I said, if you just want basics, like basics, start with the grounding and shielding and work your way up from there.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of with the paranormal.
Grounding. Okay, I'm gonna cut off here for a second. Grounding, shielding, chakra systems. Okay, because when you do the grounding, the shielding, and chakra systems, man, you can go wild with that after you learn the chakra systems and can clear your own energy. It is incredible. So just know that those are 3 really big, important
So,
systems.
how do you actually clear your own energy?
You push it away.
Oh, it's more than just pushing it away. There's a number of different techniques that you can do.
And is there a way I could like go to someone and have them help me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and matter of fact, people can do that long distance. I know people that say, no, that's bullshit. And I am one that, no, I've actually witnessed it long distance before. So, and I've been one that can do it from long distance, and so is Robert. But you can clear, if you've got the right kind of personal energy, you can actually clear somebody's chakras. And just an FYI, there are more than 7 chakras. The chakra system goes way up high above us. You can talk to our Keith Andrews about that one for that matter, because when I met him at your guys' Paracon, I think that was 2019, end of 2019.
Yeah, you came up for the 20... It was either 2019 or 2018. No, it was right before the pandemic, so it was the 2019.
It was 2019.
Yeah, it was 2019.
The one in Cedro Woolley?
Cedro, yeah.
Yeah, it was
and when I met him, I asked him, I can't remember how I phrased it, but I asked him something along the lines of, aren't there more than 35 or 55 chakras? And he's like, oh, Nikki, there are so many. And I said, we're talking hundreds. And he said, yeah. So
how do I figure out which one is mine?
What?
Your chakra system?
Your chakra system is you. It's around
your
you.
Chakra,
it's part of you.
Your chakra system, they should never do Skype. Yeah, I agree, Robert. Your chakra system is actually, it's not just starting from your butt, which is the root. You have a chakra system out the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet. There are different chakra points throughout your entire body, and each one of those needs to be cleared, but you can clear all of them and actually start from the top and go straight down through your core, over the edges of your shoulders and down your body and into Earth's core. Yes.
Now, just for levity, Nikki.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
What did you think a chakra was?
Okay, I might have been looking at this from a nerdy approach. But, like, elements? Like, a different element is a part of that.
So, an element for each person that they attune to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a chakra.
That's not? Okay.
No.
I love you, kid.
Your chakra is your energy amounts, and like your spiritual energy, and your...
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Have you ever seen those pictures of people, like, sitting that have, like, all different colors on them? And it says, like, this chakra, this rock is for this chakra, like that kind of stuff. That's a chakra system.
So, kind of like in martial arts.
Not really.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
In
Here, like, here's a
Hapkido
picture. I'll show you.
uses your chakras to actually create more power.
Yeah, you
in
can
your
use your chakra
defensive
in
moves.
order to put
Okay,
more
this is
energy
directly-
into certain areas.
This is directly off of Google. So it goes to whoever the owner is of that. So this is for educational purposes. If you can see that, John, that's an example.
Just a second. Hold that up. He's got it.
Okay.
It's your core chakra system.
And
The energies that you hold within you in certain areas of
And how do you start attuning with that? Is that just you start trying to ground and hold, and you just start trying to
Sit.
that?
Okay,
Ooh.
sit on the ground.
It's more
Sit-
of a meditation type thing than anything
Yeah.
else.
Sit on a grassy area. Sit on a ground. Don't sit on rocks. Sit on dirt, whatever, but get your ass on dirt, on grass. Get your legs crossed. Some people will say not to, but that's how I started out. And I went into a brief meditative state, and you start feeling the alignment of your body. And that's what you work on. At least that's what I did. And it worked for me. Now, like we've all said, everything is different for each. It's individualized. But that was one of the things, because my ass was sitting on earth. And it's different when you're sitting on cement. It's different when you're sitting on rocks. That's why I say on grass or on soil. And you're literally planting your ass on Mother Earth, and you literally connect. You start feeling the energy in your own body. Your mom's right. It's a meditative state you've got to get into.
Well, does it help?
And that's
connect?
basically where you start.
Well, because I've kind of been doing that, but in a different way, I guess. Because I've been talking to some elders in different tribes, and I've been talking about spirit animals with them. So is that kind of like that? Because I've been trying to connect with a spirit animal with one I got.
That's a different ball game.
That's a different ballgame.
That's a different ball game altogether.
What gave you your spirit animal, though? Like, what gave you what you should be connecting with?
If you say online, I'm gonna punch you.
No, nothing really. I haven't actually connected with it yet, but I know what it is.
What is it?
Black bear.
No.
No?
Oh, honey.
No.
I don't know. That's what they... I was talking...
That's what
Who said?
Who said?
This older lady.
Shh.
I don't know. But
Was she part of the tribe that you were talking to?
I think so.
Oh.
I was just talking to old folks, honestly. I'm just talking with everyone. And I was just having a conversation with spirit animals with her. I can't remember her name, honestly. But...
Okay, but
Okay,
that's a personal journey that you have to find that on your own. That's
Okay. Then I might be getting some wrong information then.
I think you are getting some wrong information.
I will tell you.
Very much so.
Anytime you see that particular animal, anytime you see even its name written, you will feel something inside you.
Yes, correct.
Because it's about you and your relation to that animal and your whole.
And depending on what the animal is, at first it might not feel right. For example, if let's say it's a ferret, and that is your spirit animal, you may not want to recognize that. So your body may be telling it to you, but you can't make that connection right away.
Okay.
Because you don't want...
I need another psychic to validate this. I literally heard the word hawk. It's been a while since I've received spirit animals for people, so somebody else needs to validate that.
The problem I see with hawk is...
If it's not a hawk, then there's something incoming about that for him.
It's a turkey, dude. You know it.
No.
It's a hamster.
No.
But...
Nikki's close.
What were you
It's a bird.
Yeah, it's because I asked. I was like, am I being told hawk or am I... And I started questioning like eagle, and I kept getting told hawk. And it literally, it's brown wing. What I was shown was brown wings, brown body.
Huh. Your spirit
And
animal is the hawk twa
and-
girl.
Oh, could it be an owl?
Well, so no,
No.
you failed your science test. Not a chance.
I did not fail it. I just haven't actually studied science for so long.
Robert says that's like comparing basketball to our. Hello, Robert in chat. That's like
hey.
comparing basketball to cricket, or wrong information. Bird is the word. Hawkeye.
Hawkeye! Hawkeye!
So it is a bird, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it was flying with brown feathers.
Oh, dodos don't fly.
Wow. So
Only a mother could get away with that.
honestly could see a ground pheasant
Yeah, you're a pheasant. Oh.
or a ptarmigan.
I have no idea.
I know you don't know what they are,
Yeah.
but their attributes do. What's the thing? Robert?
The thing from
Teams?
Adam.
Teams, whatever the fuck.
No, from
this
Adam's
is.
family.
Yeah, it's Teams.
Thing.
Skype and
Oh.
Teams.
Give me a
That's
second,
what he's
Robert.
referring
You're
to.
online, so hold on.
Robert.
Well, that's bullshit. As soon as I add a third person, it puts me in
Oh.
the freaking thing too.
There you are.
Our little
Fran.
Well, I
sweetie
see him on. I see him online, but I don't see him on video.
No,
Yeah.
it's calling him right
It's
now.
calling him.
Oh, okay.
This new team shit is weird.
It takes a while.
But you're very protective of the people around you.
Oh yeah.
But the people that aren't close, the people that aren't connected to you, you don't care.
Yeah.
Friend, but you're trying to change that.
Yeah.
So you are an animal, like you are someone that can learn.
So you're a goose.
But and you're something that has knowledge.
Oh.
Yep, that was a no. It wouldn't call him in.
I think,
I'll try one more time. Robert.
unfortunately, that my spirit animal, if I had a spirit animal, it would be like a cockroach.
No, it's a cow.
Because this bitch can survive anything.
No, Mom,
but-
there's no way it's not a cow.
She's not great to look at. No. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, but I'll look into the.
I'm not commenting.
I'm gonna look
Did
into
you
more.
just say my spirit animal's a cow?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Since you were born, or at least what Grandma has said, you've
Moveless.
always been attracted to that animal, and you
Whoa,
have a collection.
whoa, man. I am not attracted to cows.
Well, it would be bulls.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my.
You do
How
remember
now?
what happened in that field, right?
Oh, God.
Do we want to know this? Yes, you got me curious now.
Okay, so we're
Absolutely not.
driving down
No!
the road,
No!
and on the side of the road there is a field of cows, and I look over and I'm like, "Hey, cows!" And all of a sudden, from beside me in the passenger seat, I hear, "Hey, Cole!" And I just looked at her. I'm like, "So, you want to talk about this?" And like, because I just said, "Hey, cows," and then it responded. How what?
I heard you, Robert.
How?
I don't know.
It's
I was
just
here.
you.
He's not in here.
He's hearing you in your mind. Oh, no.
He's trying to connect with you, Nikki.
He literally just said, "Well, it's not working."
Oh, yes.
Oh, it
So
says
if he talks,
he's in a call.
He's in a call with just Nikki.
Now
Oh,
he's
really?
available again.
Oh, that's super weird.
how the hell?
So I'm trying to have him again.
That is weird.
Gotta love that technology.
So
What the hell?
if you don't know, Microsoft, in their infinite fucking wisdom, deleted Skype. It's done. And have
Yeah,
forced
it's no more.
all of us to join teams.
Yep.
Which
And we're kind of team-tarded.
we are going
Like,
to talk afterwards, and I think we might get rid of this and actually move to Zoom. I don't know.
Zoom seems to be doing better than... this is just not okay. I don't know what this is. But this made for a shitty show.
A lot of
because
the
we can't
issues
get
that
half of our
have
people in.
been on...
Yeah, I've got Zoom on everything, so...
Yeah, like...
Yeah, and we know Zoom. We know Zoom way better than this team stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's like being
kicked them off again.
ridiculous.
I'll try it again.
Oh, yes.
But where did he go?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Huh, okay.
Okay, that's weird. Ugh.
Yes.
Okay, so spirit animals are a whole thing that...
That's a different ballgame.
Oh,
and
absolutely. It's baseball. It's not basketball.
The hardest part is we haven't had enough contact with our actual tribe to know what he should be doing to connect with that side. And how to properly find out what he should be doing. The whole thing kind of stinks when it comes to that, because we're just so far away. Friend, I do not know why this won't add him.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Not at all. That makes it no logical sense.
Yeah, it's a weirdness.
That is strange.
I don't get this whole new thing.
Okay. So what else are your other questions, John? You had a bunch of questions for me, so what else are your other questions?
Okay, what was it?
If you say something about a woodchuck and the amount of wood it can chuck, we're gonna have an issue.
I already know it can chuck a lot of wood.
Okay. Maybe it's a woodchuck that's your spirit animal.
Maybe. Hey, what does that mean? Okay, and then I also heard there is a council for fays and paranormal creatures like that, and I was wondering what their main job is.
Okay. There's not a council for fays.
Well,
there is... Sorry, just as I put a Whopper in my mouth.
Whoa! Not on air!
Yeah.
This is not only fans, Nikki!
I don't eat these unless I'm really, really stressed out. So.
That's the last time
And
I ate a Whopper, too.
Today has been a day, so I'm very thankful that these were actually in the house. Okay, so basically, I don't normally eat junk food, but damn. Okay, so the Fae have their own hierarchies. Each category has their own. So, like the King of the Fairies was one of the, and I do mean the King of the Fairies. He was in my home during the time when I had all those hierarchies in my home. He stood right behind me. Matter of fact, he told me, he said, "We will be glad to work with you. You just have to quit saying the F word." And I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's kind of difficult.
That's my go-to word to release stress.
Well, because
and he's nice. Oh, I love him. He is such a sweetheart.
Yeah, because
truly, he's wonderful. So each one of the Fae.
Yeah, I know they have more of a medieval hierarchy system than some of the.
I wouldn't call it medieval, but yeah,
but
it's
the closest
they have
thing.
They have their own hierarchy system. Yes.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. Each one of them has their own royalty. This specific person was a male. Oh God, beautiful energy. Oh my God, such beautiful energy and a beautiful being. Just cannot even begin to express how beautiful. The beauty is just incredible. But okay, so like there's you've got the king of the fairies. I'm sure there's a queen, but I never. Well, that's my assumption. I apologize. That is my assumption.
Okay.
There are kings and queens of other royalty of other
Like the Dryad.
fae. There are other royalties of the fae. Do I know if there is a head of all fae? I believe there is, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I know, I know with everything in my being, from what I have been told and from what I saw psychically in my home, the amount of royalty and hierarchy beings in the Fae, and there's a lot of, you've got the wood nymphs, you've got the fairies, you've got the there's so many categories of that are classified as Fae. Every single one of them has a hierarchy, has a royalty being in charge of all of them, and
Dryads?
each one of those has a lower down. Okay.
Because what about the
And what about the
Dryads? Aren't they considered the
Dryads?
the guardians of the forest?
Tree nymphs?
Kinda.
they all have their own hierarchy system. They all of them. Okay.
But do they have like a representative for them? Or,
Yes.
And
Their representative is their royalty.
okay. And
Am I too loud?
Nope.
No. Okay, sorry.
Uh,
No, somebody was just coming down the stairs. I just
Yeah.
wanted to be sure I was okay. What are you looking for? Okay, never mind. So yeah, every one of them have their own royalty being.
Okay.
Okay, and they're all, I believe, have one ahead of all of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's kind of like how the angels have their own hierarchy within them, but above all of them is God. It's kind of like that.
Above all of them is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I had to think about that a second because I had stuff going on here.
We'll put it this way. So think of it in like governmental terms.
Okay.
You got the House, you got the Senate, you got like governors that are overseeing this area, and then you got senators that are overseeing this area. But above all of them would be like the president and the cabinet.
I'm kind of thinking of
you know what I mean?
Like medieval style, like under all of them are dukes and barons and all that.
Yes, dukes, barons,
and
lords,
then
above everybody is the king. Yeah, same concept.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Robert's in chat on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Still, he said that's where he's gonna stay.
Okay. And we got but then
Robert, if you can answer this, I would also be very grateful. Since you're another psychic, do you know what my spirit animal may be?
Thank
you.
you.
It's a bird. Bird is the word.
Like, yeah, but which bird
specifically?
Because there's a lot of birds with brown feathers out there.
I told you, you're a fucking turkey.
Maybe, but I want to know. Because if I have that information, it will allow me to learn a lot more.
Well, look up birds, and then whichever one you get pulled towards.
Okay.
It could be something as simple as like a finch.
That's true.
No, this is a predator bird, is what I saw.
Bilby.
Bilby. Robert said Bilby.
Yeah,
Bilby. What the hell's a Bilby?
It's Australian bad.
Bilbies are a rodent, actually. It is a
Small kangaroo rabbit type of deal.
rabbit-like, long-eared, native to Australia. Oh.
Yeah.
It looks weird, though. It has, like, a clown-like nose.
Yeah.
It's kind of horrifying. But still.
I think
Oh.
you're a kookaburra.
That's a Bilby. Is that what you're talking about, Robert?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he says small kangaroo rabbit type of deal. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Loser.
Hey,
I mean,
at least I know mine. Maybe.
Then why did I get Hawk?
you never asked,
Oh, what's yours?
Maybe it was eating the bilby.
friend.
What's your spirit animal, father?
Okay.
Mine would be a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were born in the year of the rat.
And I'm resilient and go through, like, I can go through anything and come out the other end. Maybe not as good as I was, but,
You kind of do have that type of face.
friend. Okay, you Smeagol looking motherfucker.
Hey,
don't even.
Okay, rat boy and bilby.
hey,
I'm just saying that.
That's not posting.
What?
That's weird.
Really?
yeah.
Don't even look at me. I already know my spirit animal.
So do we.
Yeah, it's the cow.
Hey, whatever. This cow's gonna squish the rat boy and the bilby. I'm huge.
You couldn't catch either.
I also have like 4 stomachs and shit. That's pretty awesome.
Cows have 4 stomachs?
Yes. Wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know animal anatomy.
You don't know what you eat? Jeez.
Friend,
I don't eat cow.
What other questions do you have for me,
Okay,
dear?
keep going.
And then, what is the hierarchy with the other councils and the systems? Because what is like with the undead type thing? And
Okay,
the fays,
so-
and then the angels and the demons. Who is on top and who is on bottom?
God's on top.
Oh,
I know that.
God's on top. Yeah. Well,
But-
then you've got different level of angels, and then you've got different level of hierarchies. Angels are in a hierarchy all on their own.
And is there like a specific group for healing and
Yes. Okay.
and what is that group?
Now you're talking. Okay. Now you got to get into like. Oh God, I don't know how to explain this. Okay. So for each subsection of shit, there is
There you
a
go.
group that watches over that specific thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and there's hierarchies within that group
Yes.
that watch over people that watch over that watch over that watch over. Okay?
Yes.
If that makes
It's a
any
lower
sense.
down. It's a lower down form of a pyramid.
But I mean, it's everything. So
Yeah.
there's a group of people that watch over everything.
Okay.
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm going to cut off for a second. There's a council of 12, a council of 9, a council of 6, and a council. Oh,
Council of 3.
6, and a council of 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the councils. That's also councils that are like they go really high up. The council of 3 is The Council of 12 is who does the most work, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it like that because everybody's got a different opinion on it. And the council, so basically it's 3, 6, 9, and 12.
Multiples of 3. It's always a multiple of 3.
And
yeah.
Are there certain councils that are considered good to humans? And are there others that are bad?
Okay, whoa. It's not about good and bad once you get into that.
No.
Realm.
I know.
Okay,
And that's a totally different
as,
ballgame.
As far as they're concerned, there is no good, there is no bad. It's
Yeah.
all just, it is what it is, if that makes any sense.
But is there a specific one that
Deals with humans?
that you could get affiliated with?
Well, you could
it doesn't.
Technically, you could get in some way affiliated with almost any of them, except for the fact that you're never going to be part of them.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
There's a difference between affiliation. Yeah. There's a difference between affiliation and actually getting to meet them and know them.
Meet them. I mean more like learn.
Okay, now you wouldn't understand half of their learning. That's
no,
the problem.
You wouldn't.
Is that when you're talking about different, there's no other way to put this besides basically different races, different species.
Yeah.
Okay, when you are talking about a totally different entity than yourself, you can't do 90% of the things that they can do.
Okay.
Just like technically they can't do certain things that we can do. Okay, because we're completely different species.
Yes.
So even if you were brought into an area where you could talk to them or anything like that, you still would never, no matter how much you learned, be able to do the things that they do because that's not your species, that's not your race, and you don't have the physical abilities to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Agreed. Wholeheartedly.
Now, in order to really understand, you can kind of understand on a human level of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But
exactly.
you will never understand on their level of understanding.
Okay.
Correct. Their level of understanding is way beyond our comprehension.
So
well, some of them are way lower than our comprehension.
So it's
that's
like
true too.
How humans and chimpanzees are compared.
But we're totally different species, totally different entities, and have totally different levels of understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So there's no way. That's like basically saying that you could get on the same level as God, and there's no way you could get on the same level as God because
bingo,
it's a different entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they have different senses, different feelings, different. Everything is different. Even the corporeal form is different. Did you just have an earthquake?
No, I got a Sasquatch here.
Oh.
Then
I can smell the fur and the cave.
Okay.
God, is it strong?
And he's probably coming in to tell you, you're never gonna get it, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was here yesterday and the day before, and it's the same one.
Is it Sassy the
now,
Sasquatch?
if you could.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying. Okay, that's never mind. There's no way to put this to where it's okay for me to say.
It's making my eyes water.
So, I'm good. Never mind. Well, okay. So
then is there a way to like? How do I say it?
Understand better? Is that what
Dude, I love it when you guys come, but wow, that is
different creatures in the paranormal. Is there a way to have them like familiarize with them?
Oh, honey, you can. Okay, so
yes, you can familiarize yourself with them.
You can
but
know something, and it can know you, but you're never gonna be on the level of true
understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Like, you could go out tomorrow and meet somebody of an alien species, and you guys could get talking and know each other, but it doesn't mean you're ever going to understand
what they really
their actual thought processes, feelings, and everything else.
Okay.
Because you're too different from one another to get that.
That was intense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like trying to understand someone and how they think.
Okay, it's more like trying to understand what a bee thinks
Okay.
than it would be trying to understand what another person thinks. Because at least with somebody of your same race, of your same, like of the human race, you have similar thought processes and similar feelings, where somebody of a totally different race, you don't even understand their concept of feeling.
Yeah.
So it would be impossible to use human empathy to relate to a being that doesn't have that human empathy.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, you can learn things about other beings. You can take the scientific approach and you can understand them in a way like that, kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of
But
the
you
way I was
can
thinking
never
of it.
actually understand fully
Yeah.
what that species thought on an everyday basis, or feels, or understands, or knows.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yes. I fully agree with what you were talking about, Kayla. I don't have anything to add. I think that was beautifully worded.
sorry,
Although
I killed it.
Yeah.
you did. I mean, it was perfect.
Oh. Now the other part of that
And good timing too.
and I really don't know how to say this without getting into like some deep shit.
Deep do.
Well, then I have another question.
Okay, go with your question.
Yeah.
Please.
So humans have lived for a very long time.
Not really.
Not
Mhm.
really.
Not really.
Not
But
in the concept of
At
life.
most,
Well,
like 119 years.
Okay.
But is there a way to talk to like another creature that has lived longer than us,
Yes.
that knows knowledge of one of our past generations that we don't?
Okay, you're looking for knowledge?
Yeah.
Is it just knowledge you're looking for?
Yeah, just basic like.
Then you need to talk.
I just had a Sasquatch in here. I mean, come on.
Then you need to talk to one of the caretakers and get a invite to the Akashic records, and you will learn
Actually,
any
he could go
bit
to the
of
Akashic
knowledge
records on his own.
you want.
Okay.
You can, but if you have them with you, they'll be able to point you in the right directions better.
That, and the fact of the matter is that most of the Akashic records librarians, because and by the way, we each have our own librarian.
Hey, Nikki, what is
the Akashic records? You don't know what that is?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's a wealth of knowledge of all existence.
Everything you
it's
say.
Cosmic consciousness.
How do I access
Yes.
Anybody can access it.
Astral or higher consciousness can do it.
You will not find this on the intrawebs.
I know.
No, you won't.
No, this is an accumulated point of all knowledge and understanding from the beginning of time to the end of time.
Okay.
It has everything that's ever been learned, thought, said, or done by any species in any galactic area, all in basically a library of information.
Yes.
That you can tap into in specific ways, and you can pull knowledge from it in specific ways.
Okay, hold on. Do you guys want to know how, like, I Googled it.
Yeah.
You can Google this shit now, because there's an AI that'll tell you. Mm-hmm. Accessing the Akashic records involves establishing a connection with the spiritual realm believed to contain a record of all universal events, thoughts, and intentions. This can be achieved through various methods, including meditation, prayer, or seeking guidance from a qualified practitioner. And then it gives a more detailed look on how one might access the
You
Akashic
go in
records.
astral.
Yeah.
Go in astral.
You can
Meditate.
astral
Go
there.
in astral.
But
okay, here's what I was
can
going to say.
So is it?
You
Oh,
can
motherfucker.
get a guide. Okay.
Whoa.
A lot of
The
people don't know this.
The Akashic records is Wikipedia.
No, it isn't.
According to this, it is because it can be altered by intent.
Well, it can be based on yes and no.
Okay. You have your own Akashic Records librarian. Every one of us does. Some of us have 2 or 3. But typically we have 1. They're always watching. And
So how do
zip it for a moment.
Okay.
Every one of us has one. Everything that we say and do in our life is literally recorded down in history. It is literally in our own file. Let me tell you, I have had an Akashic Records librarian hand me my file from that moment in time all the way down to the point I was born. It is a big frickin' file. So, when I say it is recorded, I mean everything that we're talking right now. Every time here's something really graphic. Every time you go into the toilet, everything you do, whether you shower, whether you speak,
It's your book of life.
it is, yes, it is exactly that. You can, but you're not
you can't.
really should. Okay, here's the thing. Typically, when you go to the Akashic Records, it's essentially a huge building that is a library. Okay?
Yeah.
Each section of the library is a specific room. And once you enter the building, you're met by a librarian.
Yeah, because
Not the head librarian, but you're met by a librarian, okay? And then they will take you to where you have questions. They'll take you right to where you need to go. And however long that you want to sit there and go through files, you can. You can ask to look at somebody else's, but there's no guarantee you're going to be allowed. It can happen, but it's really a major no-no.
There's also, I guess you would call it like a hierarchy in the Akashic Records, okay?
Yes.
So there are keepers.
Okay.
Yes.
There are librarians.
And is there
Yes.
And then there is the head librarian, and then there's the overseer.
And is there like certain
Okay,
knowledge
so
I'm
there-
not allowed to look at?
Absolutely.
Yes.
There are certain areas of that you will never gain access to, no matter how
Correct.
The restricted section.
well. Basically.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
In a nutshell.
how do I put this? Okay, so the easiest way to get into cosmic consciousness, Akashic Records, whatever it is that you form it and you call it. Okay.
Learn to meditate.
So, what I have personal information about it. Okay, so I don't really do the meditation thing or the ground shield thing, because my body is weird. We'll just put it that way. But in order for me to gain access to any of what you would call the cosmics or the Akashic Records, okay, I have to be in a dream state to do that. Okay?
That makes sense.
So sometimes
REM.
it's easier to get into there through a REM sleeping
Yep.
state.
That makes sense.
Okay, because then in your dream, you can push forward and talk to a keeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's talking about lucid dreaming.
Now, once you speak with a keeper, they can either take you into a very basic section, okay?
Yep.
Or they can pass you off to your librarian, which can take you into a deeper section. But usually what ends up happening is at first you meet with your keeper, and your keeper will take you into the basics of everything. And you'll do that for a very, very long time before you actually get to even know who the hell your librarian actually is.
Yeah, because basically there is one section that I really want to just instantly go to and start reading, which is
now you have free.
Alchemy.
You have free.
Yeah.
You have free reign to go in and look at history, though.
You
that
can
is
look
something.
At past histories, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that's the other thing, is you can understand more about your own past lives through the Akashic records.
Yes.
And you can get to understand who and what you did through previous lives, not just the life you're living at this point.
Well, actually,
correct.
I've started having dreams about that, especially after you told me about that fire. Some weird things happened, and
What?
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
But previously, when we were talking about past lives, and I asked about mine, and you said the fire of 1660, 16 something.
The England fire.
The England fire.
Yeah.
A few nights later, I had a dream of burning in a hotel.
Okay.
And I was the owner of that hotel.
Okay.
And I started learning about that, which I think is a past life. I don't know though.
Hey, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's a major possibility.
Yeah, because
especially when it's coming to you like that, and it's like flashes of information.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
then it's usually your own consciousness trying to tell you what previously happened to your consciousness, if that makes sense.
Okay, so my question to you is, are you writing these down because you need to be?
Yeah, you can keep a sleep journal.
I kind of wrote some of it down because basically what I remember is that I'm an older male around my 50s, owner of a hotel, and I died in that hotel in a fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Do you have a year?
The London fire. I know it was that fire because
in the 1600s.
Yeah, because outside the window everything was on fire.
Yeah, that's like my dream, or my I was a sea captain and I drowned with the ship. I got everybody else off the ship, and
Botanica.
couldn't save me. No, it was 1700s.
Yeah, it was like
okay.
It was like a captain going down with his ship as I went down with the hotel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
Either Google has made a grammatical error, or Amazon has went way beyond any of our other technological means.
Why? What's up?
The Akashic Records are now available on Audible.
Oh, no way.
Wow. Just wow.
Okay.
And they're listed under Listen for the Thrill.
So that would be a lot of space needed on Audible for
just a little.
And that's just for the first 100 years.
It wouldn't be that much
okay,
space.
we don't. Oh,
they just use one of those new quantum computers.
So how do I explain? Okay, so there's in history, there's a lot of examples of people that state that they've had an experience. Okay. Yeah. Where something came to them in their dream, or where something came to them. Some people say it was from alien contact. Some people say it was from lucid dreaming. Some people, okay, but It's the reason that we have people that will, like, invent the same thing at the same basic time.
Yeah.
Okay, like there were 6 people all at once that were working on the phone during the same period of time. Because that needed to happen at that point in history. It didn't matter exactly who made it happen, but it needed to happen during this point of time. So they gave the thoughts and the ideas of the machine
Kind of like how
to several different people so that somebody could invent this so that it pushed forward the human existence on the right trajectory.
basically it was like different tribes learning written language.
Well, and that's the thing. Is like different things happen at different times, but if you notice, every major advancement that we have, there are multiple people that have the same basic idea right around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even like way back in the day. Okay, so this isn't because they read it on the internet somewhere and everybody started working on it at the same time because, well, it said it on Twitter or something like that. This was people that had absolutely no contact with each other whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, coming up with the same idea at the same time through lucid dreaming or through something that came to them through a transmission of some kind.
Yeah.
That is the Akashic Records pushing existence forward on the trajectory it's supposed to be headed towards.
Okay.
Okay, so you will get where people, like, this is why all of a sudden, out of the blue, we did years of, like, Stone Age shit, and then, boom, 5 different continents all found metal at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, and moved forward into a new evolution of existence based off of that. Okay, so it plays a big part in our human experience and our human evolution, as well as documenting what has happened. Because as far as the Akashic Records is concerned, and this is kind of like a mind fuck when you think about it, they already know everything from the past, but they already know everything from the future too. Okay, so it is not linear. It's like a sphere of knowledge. So you know...
It's a good way to put it.
The end times, the beginning times, and everything and everyone that's happened in between, and every possibility of everything and everyone that's happened.
So it's not like it's destined to happen. It's like there's a possibility this will happen if we do this.
Yes, so if, going off of the phone thing, if Alexander Graham Bell is the one that comes up with the phone, and he's the one that gets pushed forward first, then this is the trajectory that the world will take after that point. If Hubert Helmsworth is the one that invents the phone, and it's his patent, this is the trajectory the world will take from that point. So it's like splitting universes and splitting atoms, but there's specific fixed points, if that makes sense. Specific points in time where something has to happen.
Not to be a nerd, but kind of like Flashpoint.
Kind of. But more like, how do I put... Okay, you've watched Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's specific times where even if they go back to that time period...
It has to happen.
It has to happen that way.
Yeah.
In order for the trajectory of life to continue.
Like you can alter small things, but no matter what.
Yes, you can alter little tiny things. You can fix little tiny things. It can be this person versus this person, but it has to happen at this point.
Okay.
And it's not like all one day, one point thing, but it's usually over the course of like a year to a couple months period of time that this event has to happen
within this time frame.
Within this time frame in order to make the trajectory work.
Okay.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then you've got the changing of history too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, because you also have you have to understand that everything that can happen will happen and does happen.
Yeah.
So they have the trajectory of everything. So it's like secondary universe or multiple universe theory within it too.
Yeah.
Because you have the possibilities of all of these. But
then you've got to watch out for the grandfather paradox syndrome or issue or whatever you want to call that. But yeah, and everything comes down to choice.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, it's supposed to take place, but it's a choice on the person's part. So it's all about the choices we make.
Because, okay, so let's say they put a bug in the ear. I'm just going to the telephone because it's easy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But let's say we put a bug in the ear of 47 people with the idea of the telephone.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, out of those 47, only 10 of them actually
do something
about it. And out of those 10 of them, only 2 of them actually get to the patenting process. And out of those 2, only 1 reigns superior.
Yeah.
So they'll put a bug in multiple people's heads. And so it'll be hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people, that they'll give this same idea to.
It's just who actually
can take that idea and make it a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, like, for instance, if right now they put something in your head, right? That this could be the greatest thing since sliced bread, this is the new whatever, right?
Yeah. The new it.
It doesn't mean you necessarily have the means to make that happen.
It's just, I know.
You think of it as a passing, almost fleeting thought.
Yeah.
But because you don't have the money, because you don't have the structure, because you don't have the connections, you go, well, what the fuck would be the point? So you just don't work on it. But person number 242 that they put that idea into the head of,
they have enough perseverance.
They have enough connections or ability or whatever in order to make that a living possibility. So they take that and they move it to the next step.
It's kind of like having the $1 million idea.
Yeah, like anybody can have the $1 million idea, but not everybody has the $1 million to put into the $1 million idea.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't have the way to implement it.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Which is why you'll get, when something comes out, something new and something exciting that, like, everybody's like, this is amazing. There's always that one guy that you know that's like, well, damn it, I thought of that like 5 years ago and I never... Well, he probably technically did think of it 5 years ago, but
it also comes down to
it.
It also comes down to opportunity. Yes.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
And being able to tap into that in a meaningful way also makes it easier for you to push yourself forward on the right trajectory, if that makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But the one thing that I know for absolute sure that you 100% can never do is you can read parts of your book, absolutely. But if you try to get past the point where you are already at, those pages are blank. You will not see what happens. Yeah. They already know. They know what happens. They see what happens. But you will never be able to see your own future.
Then I have another question.
They won't even allow you to see it. You won't even be given those pages.
No, that's what I said. Like, if you flip through it, it would be like, to the point where you are now, you stood in the Akashic Records reading this book, and then it would just be blank pages afterwards.
Then I have another question, because
it wouldn't be any, but
there's librarians, so do they also have a book? And if so, can you read that book?
Librarians also have a book. Everything that's ever existed will exist and has existed has a book.
Okay.
Yes.
You are not allowed to read anybody else's book unless you have permission from your own librarian and the head librarian and the overseer.
And you also have to have permission from the person.
Okay.
So just an FYI from my experience.
You cannot do that unless you have very, very specific permissions to be able to do that.
Yep.
unless the person has already lived their entire life and is a figment of history now.
Yes.
So I could go
for example,
into,
my mom.
Yes. So I could go back in there and I could go into the book of, like, Aunt Dondi.
Yeah.
And read her life story.
So does that also
Correct.
mean you could figure out whether someone is alive or not through the Akashic Records because you can or cannot read their book?
Yes and no. Because there are
That's just what I was going to say.
certain books that are off limits to everybody because you don't have the right permissions. Even though the person might be dead or might not be dead, okay, you still don't have the right permissions for specific people.
For example, you could not go in and get a president of a country who is deceased.
Because then it would give you the secrets of that country. You're not allowed to have
That's
specific information.
Kind of
correct.
But what I'm thinking more on small scale. But say like you have a cousin who disappeared for 4
and
years.
went missing, and now you can't figure out if they're alive or dead, so you can read their book to see if they are.
Yes.
In that kind of a case, because it's familial, most of the time they would not let you do that because it's detrimental to your pursuance of the future.
Correct.
To know that that person is dead or alive.
Okay.
So that also goes into... Kayla is exactly correct in that, but it also goes into the issue of
it will alter history.
it's not supposed it's not to be revealed yet.
Okay.
And because there's too many factors it will affect.
So,
and there's
so it won't just
that don't work.
It won't.
It's like the
it will not
effect.
just. It will not just affect that
yourself.
family. It will affect everybody that person knew.
Okay, so
beyond that.
Let's put it this way. So let's say you end up having a cousin that goes missing.
Yeah.
And you go into the Akashic Records and you read that cousin's book. Well, now you realize that cousin is dead and they've been murdered, let's say. Okay?
Yeah.
Now you know who murdered them. Okay. So, because you read the book, you know exactly what happened, who murdered them, when they were murdered, and where they were put afterwards. And so now, because of that...
You can go to the police.
If you went to, let's say, the police and told them about this, and they figured out that all of this was real, and they took that person, and they arrested that person. Let's just say, like, everything lines up, and they arrest that person, okay?
Yeah. Then that completely affects everyone.
Changes the trajectory of everybody that was affected by that person in any way, shape, or form. It changes the trajectory of the police officers. It changes the trajectory of everyone in your family that has anything to do with X, Y, or Z. So, you just change the outcome of the entire future off of one person that you thought was in some way insignificant to the grand scheme of things. But the grand scheme of things, you got to remember, nobody's insignificant to. Everybody plays a part in.
That no matter what,
ends up happening, even if you're not, let's say, a president or something of that nature, you still affect the timeline of history completely.
Yeah.
Every human, every living thing, every creature, everything can affect the eventual outcome of the universe.
It's kind of like how everyone is connected through 7 links.
7 layers of Kevin Bacon, that whole thing. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So because this person did this and did that and did that, then you also got reporters that are reporting on it that are affected by it because they're not doing this. You got their families that are affected, and in the long run, you just affected the entire outcome of everyone's existence because of one small thing that you said.
And
you're looking at over 1,000 people.
Okay.
Well, easily. You could look at the entire population of the world because anybody who watched that broadcast because they wanted more information on that wasn't doing what they would have been doing at the time that they would have been doing it. So you just affected the entire outcome of the entire universe because you read a page.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they won't let you do something that will be detrimental to the continuous timeline.
Yeah.
They'll just let you read what will only...
They will only let you see things that will help you further your timeline in an appropriate direction.
Okay.
Okay?
So they wouldn't like give
So,
you
like,
some...
they wouldn't give a white supremacist Hitler's manifesto. They wouldn't do it because then that can affect other
Everything.
people and other outcomes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but if you wanted to read a certain section of somebody's history or a certain, then most of the time that's okay if the person is already deceased and you already know quite a bit about that person.
And then...
Hey, Drew.
Oh, hey, dude.
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
Oh, and what are we going to be talking about next week? Since it's kind of over 12.
It is. I'm sorry. I got into the Akashic thing and
Yeah.
I have
Well, and we're like 3 minutes away from 2 hours, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend, we started late, so I figured we'd go a little bit late, but
Any ideas?
no.
Wow. Useless.
We can continue with some of these if you want.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like you have more questions.
I kind of do.
So then we will continue this conversation next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Nice.
Friend.
Doo-doo-doo.
That's unless I'm out in the city, because I'm Batman and they need me.
Dude, you would never be Batman.
Okay, maybe a Robin, but still.
Yeah, like Robin in those little green tights.
No.
Holy
Yeah.
strawberries,
No, I was-
Batman!
no.
We're in a jam!
No, if anything, 'cause I'm going to be Red Hood. I would be the cool one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Drew, thanks for showing up at the end.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy, you missed us.
Bye!
Friend. But, as always, you can go back and listen to it.
Hey, Drew.
It's pretty
Do not forget to like and subscribe. Nikki, are you on tomorrow night?
No, actually, I will be on Saturday night
Saturday night.
at 7. Saturday night at 7 p.m.
So watch for that. Restore Belief with Nikki Jacobs.
Yep.
Here on YouTube. And for all of you out there, good night. Good luck.
Closing
We'll
the
see
bunker.
you next week, hopefully. Friend.
Yes. Oh my God.
Bye, guys!
Bye.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.